It was a sizzlingly hot afternoon in July 2000 as Professor James McGaugh cycled through the wide streets of California. James was in a fantastic mood. His presentation at the International Conference on Learning and Memory had been a whopping success. Over the years, he'd managed to cement himself as a world expert on memory, and today, scientists from all over the world had come to listen to his talk. And, at the post-conference cocktail party, his research was all anyone could talk about. To top it off, his new bike was working great, and there was a lasagna waiting for him when he got back home. James was on top of the world, and nothing could bring him down. Nothing, except a tiny little message flashing up on his answer machine. The message was from a 34-year-old school administrator called Jill Price. Jill had been searching all over the world to find a leading memory expert, and eventually she'd managed to find James. Jill had contacted James because she was troubled by her memory. Now, James had already spent a long time studying people who had really bad memory, as a result of dementia, stroke, or head injuries. But Jill's complaint wasn't that her memory was bad. Jill's problem was that her memory was too good. Jill could remember every single thing that had ever happened to her. And she didn't just mean the big events in her life. She could remember the tiniest detail of every single day of her life for the past 34 years. Ask her about any random day from the past 34 years, say the 24th of March 1984, and she could tell you exactly what happened that day, what she ate for breakfast, lunch and dinner, who she talked to, what was on the news that day, and even what day of the week it was. James was dumbfounded. He called Jill into his lab and started running every kind of test he could on her. Soon, news spread around the scientific community of Jill and her incredible memory. It wasn't long until she hit the headlines outside of the science world. At all hours of the day, news reporters hounded Jill over the phone to hear her story firsthand. Jill even wound up on TV. Everyone wanted to meet the woman who couldn't forget. Jill caused such a stir because she remembered everything. She found it impossible to forget. But most of us aren't like this. When we experience and learn new things, even if we encode the experiences into long-term memory, we might forget them. And in fact, there's loads of things we forget. We've pretty much all had the experience of being in a test and struggling to remember a fact we memorized the day before. So, why aren't all our memories as good as Jill's? Why do we forget? To understand why we forget, we need to look at explanations of forgetting.